Have you ever felt overwhelmed in trying to grow your business? Maybe you've stayed up late Googling marketing strategies and struggling to secure funding. Today's guest has solutions that won't cost you a dime. Join me as we talk with Dorian Zwierewicz. Zwierewicz. See, I knew I was going to mess up your name.
Zwierewicz, very good.
Zwierewicz. I was so close. Thank you for clarifying that. And he is with the Small Business Development Center at FGCU. And we're going to be talking about their free resources that could transform your business journey. Thank you so much for coming in.
Of course. Thank you for having us.
And what is your role there?
So I'm the regional director here in Southwest Florida. Our Florida SBDC network consists of the whole state, and I'm one of the 9 regional directors that covers Charlotte County South.
Fabulous. Yeah. And say your name again, because I'm sorry that I got it wrong.
Yeah, Dorian Zwierewicz.
Zwierewicz.
Yeah, perfect.
Oh, I got it right. Oh, yes. And he says how he goes to conferences and things. He's like, I just introduced myself as Dorian. So
that's right.
Dorian it is.
Dorian it is.
So for our listeners that may not know what I call it the acronym, as many people do, the SBDC, the Small Business Development Center. What does it do and how does it serve entrepreneurs?
Yeah, absolutely. So our tagline is we help businesses start, grow, and thrive. And I really love that tagline because it really covers the core of our mission. And before I get into what we do, it's important to find out the history of the SBDC network as a whole. So the SBDC was started in 1976, and basically the federal government saw a need where in our country, small businesses are so important, where 50% of the jobs are created by small businesses. But small businesses don't necessarily have the financials to hire a consultant if they need help. So the federal government in 1976 decided, hey, let's create this program called the SBDC, the Small Business Development Center, and let's offer consulting services for those small businesses that need help and can't compete with the large corporations. That's why we're here.
I guess I never knew the history of it.
Yeah.
And so apropos, especially in days and times like right now. So many businesses are struggling, small businesses. And people don't understand how small businesses are the backbone of this economy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the amount of small businesses, I also have to really compliment our state. So another thing people don't know is Florida is probably one of the most pro-business states.
I would agree.
And because of this, so many people are coming into Florida for this assistance for small businesses because we make it easy and much more easier for small business owners to grow and succeed and, help be that lifeblood for America.
Yeah. Right. So what services... How does it serve the entrepreneur? How does it serve that small business owner?
Yeah. So our key thing, okay, to start off with, our core is going to be our consulting services. That's what we were originally started. And we have a lot of ancillary services as well. But when I say consulting services, we really help any small business, 500 or less employees, from a variety of topics. So someone may come in and go, hey, I have a business idea. Is this a good idea or not? And our consultant will be able to guide them and go, based on my professional opinion, I don't think it's feasible, or I think it is feasible. Conversely, if someone comes in and says, I'm 62 years old, I have a key employee that I want to sell my business to. My kids don't want my business. I plan on retiring at 67. Can you help train this employee up and then work on our financials so that in a couple of years, when I'm ready to retire, we can make this the selling process and that transition as smooth as possible. On top of that, our consulting services, we help with marketing if someone needs help analyzing their marketing. Of course, cash flow, financial analysis if you need a loan from the bank. And then another big service for us is going to be government contracting. So yeah, I got to give a shout out to Lee County School District, for example. People don't know this, but it's in the top 30 of the largest school districts in our nation.
Wow.
If it were a company, it'd be a $2 billion company. And there are government contracts available, not just with the school district, but any local government, state government, federal government. And these are just opportunities that most small business owners, if they don't know about, or if they do know about it, they don't know how to do it. But most of them probably don't even know about the opportunities. So we help consult with that.
When you say government contract, there's two things that people, in my opinion, as a small business owner, look at. And number one is fear. Oh, I don't want to do anything with the government. No. So they shut it down. Or number two, I don't even have a clue how to, number one, figure out what government contracts are out there, and then how do I actually apply for it?
Yes, absolutely. And the fear even gets amplified once they see all of the paperwork or the process.
Of course.
Right. And we make that easy. So we have a government contract specialist, and we actually have another program called Apex Accelerators that works well with the SBDC, and that's strictly government contracting. And it's helping guide through that process on, okay, tell us what you do as a business. What do you like to do? What's your core? And now we'll be able to connect and go, okay, based on this information, here's a list of different government opportunities that are there for you. And if there aren't any now, we keep it in it. We have this way of regularly emailing you any updates. That way, if you're not ready now, or if you just missed the deadline, there's always going to be a government contract in the future.
So you also mentioned something about financing. You have people on staff that can help walk a small business owner through getting finance, whether it's through SBA or through other financing options?
Yes. So a misconception about the SBDC is that we have money to give, like grants or anything.
Because they think of you like the SBA when they hear that.
Exactly. So we're funded by the SBA, but we don't give out any funds to the businesses. So what we do is we help with that process of getting the financing. And if you have cash flow issues, we help with that too, analyzing your financial statements and going, hey, let's look at your operations. But with getting money, right? If this comes from creating a pitch deck for an investor or if it's going to the bank, a benefit with the SBDC is whether you're starting off or you're already a business owner and you have a restaurant and you're ready to, expand it into Naples, for example. We do two things. One, you come into us after you make the decision to get the loan or to get financing, and we will be able to help analyze where you are, what your goal is, so that whenever you go to that investor or you go to that bank, your projections are as realistic as possible, right? You're not saying, oh yeah, we're going to have $1 billion in sales, and then the bank will turn you away.
Right.
And then the second thing is we have such a strong connection with our lending community and the partnership aspect of the SBDC that if your bank says, no, I'm not interested, or if you called a couple banks and they're not interested, that's okay. We have so many banks in our pipeline, in our I guess Rolodex, where we can connect you with
people
the right
out there
lender.
Are going, what is a Rolodex?
Yeah, I know.
If you're young, don't worry about it.
And I'm a millennial. I don't even know why I brought it up.
You're talking about looking at you going, how would you know what it is?
I guess I'm an old soul. I don't know. So yeah, but that really is one of the benefits of us, because what people also don't know is your typical lending institution, like they also have their own portfolio of industries that they're interested in. So when I was consulting at the SBDC up in the Panhandle, it was always difficult for us to get financing for our hotel clients, for example. Then I move here and our banks have a little bit more appetite for that. So the benefit of us is we have so many connections with these lenders that it's okay if 3 banks say no to you. Yeah. We'll still connect you and try to introduce you to the right bank.
Right.
Yeah.
Now you mentioned of the services that are offered, you mentioned marketing, finance, government contracts. What about HR?
Ooh, great question. So I don't have a specialist on my staff in my region, but we do also consult with HR if someone, and I would probably say more so with our startup clients. So when you're hiring your first employee and you want us to help you craft a job description or something like this, then we can assist with this. And a benefit of our network is if we don't have that specialty in our region, we have the whole state of Florida where we could still connect you with a consultant, from Tallahassee virtually or something like this.
Was there another bucket that I missed? Those are the ones that
So I will actually mention one specialized service that I didn't mention yet. We also, going back on the state of Florida being very pro-business, they have this great program where they're trying to expand exporting for our state. So if our state alone was a country, we would probably be, I think, the 19th, but definitely the top 20th largest economy in the world.
Wow.
It's incredible. I mean, really, Florida's the place to be. And we get so much investment in people moving from California and New York. But our state's focus on exporting, that creates really good jobs, and it helps increase our GDP. So we have this specialized program. So most of our services are at no cost or very, very low cost. So consulting is free if you ever need to meet with us. But this special service, so we do charge $500 for this, and the product is called an export marketing plan. So if you're a Florida exporter or manufacturer and you want to export overseas, we actually will interview you and go, okay, tell us about your product, about your target market, what types of clients you have. And then we will take that research and then go, okay, let's look at the 186 plus countries in the world, and let's compare them against other factors. Is their economy growing? Is there any political risk? Anything like this? And we will come up with a list of 10 countries that we recommend that you consider investing in or exporting to. And on top of that, we will also introduce you to the U.S. Commercial Service. So they have they have specialists that are actually stationed in those countries. And you can go on a trade mission to go meet real businesses in that country and help expand on that. So that's a really specialized service that we have. It's $500, and that is a discount because
that is nothing.
It really is nothing.
Because how long would that take you to figure? I mean, just the general. I say the regular layperson, the small business owner. I mean, I wouldn't even know where to find that.
Yeah, and it's very intensive even on our end. I think a typical consultant will dedicate 100 hours plus just for that report. And like you mentioned, I mean, I remember we had a client in the Panhandle that had a product, and it was really interesting because, the business owner, you're thinking about, here's my product, here's my customer base. You don't even know or think about, is there political risk? Is there inflation risk in this other, currency risk in these other countries? I mean, it's just not something that pops in your mind.
Not to mention the cultural differences that you're going to have to wade through, because there will be that.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And it's a great specialized service that we have, export marketing plan.
So I want you to walk me through, if I were a client, a potential client, and I came to you and said, oh my gosh, I really need help with my business. What does that journey look like?
Yeah, okay. Very simple process. So first and foremost, we're funded by the SBA, so there is a process. You have to go on our website, which is sbdc.fgcu.edu. And in the top right corner, there's a button that says Request for Consulting. It'll ask you a whole bunch of questions and just demographic information. We have to, what business, what's your industry? And then it'll ask you, hey, what specific assistance do you need? If do you just need to talk to someone, or, are you looking to get a loan, something like this? And completing that form is probably the most important thing, because we can't talk to people until they create that form. And that form also leads to one of the benefits of working with the SBDC. That form binds us and our consultants to a confidentiality agreement.
I got it.
So this is where, you come to us, we cannot share anything. And also, because we're funded by taxpayer dollars, we legally have to act in the best interest of the business. So any recommendations that we have, we can never sell. If you need a website, for example, we're not going to recommend you to, our cousin's company or something like this. So first step is you'd go on our website and register. Give it something like 3 to 5 business days, and then a consultant will reach out. And what that does is, during that 3 to 5 business days, it gets into our queue, it gets assigned to our region, and then we also review what we call that request for consulting, or the RFC, and we review what the business owner puts in there. So, okay, they said they needed cash flow assistance. We're going to connect them with our consultant, who's the CPA on our team. If they need marketing help, we'll connect them to someone else. And after that, you'll have this initial meeting. So your consultant will reach out to you within the 3 to 5 business days and schedule an initial meeting. You guys will cover your problems, challenges, goals, work out on a plan. And the benefit of the SBDC is you can use us as often or as little as you'd like. So we've often had clients that say, I just need help creating these financial projections for the bank. We help them with that. They get the loan. And then we don't hear from them for a year until they say, oh, okay, I'm now ready to hire my first employee. Can you help me create a job description?
What do I do?
And then conversely, we also have clients that come in and they literally have a standing monthly meeting with their consultant. And they've had this monthly meeting with their consultant for, over 3 years. It's just a long-term relationship. And we're really flexible on that, whatever meets the needs of the business owner.
So could it be once a week?
Yeah, it could be.
You do? Okay.
We have a consultant, Heidi Kramer.
Yes.
We actually had to go to lunch, and I kind of had to go like, hey, can you wrap up this call? Because we're all hungry. But she has a standing conference call with one of her clients each week. So yeah, that's common too.
So now you had mentioned at the top that 500 or less employees. I'm assuming that you vet that 500 or less is considered small business according to your terms or the SBA's terms.
Yeah, the SBA's terms.
And then you vet that when somebody, goes online and fills it out. Is that something that you ask? Like,
So on that form, it does it's one of the questions of how many employees you have. Other than that, I mean, it's really, we trust your word on it.
Sure.
So we've never, and of course, if someone was McDonald's and they came in and they said, oh yeah, we're a small business, we could look that up, right?
Right, exactly.
But yeah, we do ask. I mean, that RFC probably does take, I'm not going to lie, 5 to 10 minutes. And, that's a long time when you're filling out a form.
Yeah.
But it is a very all-encompassing questionnaire that the federal government just requires us to ask.
And it gets you the information you need to properly send them to the correct consultant.
Yeah, because we want to make sure that your connection with the consultant's right the first time.
Right.
Yeah.
So outside of the consulting services that you do, you also put on workshops or training programs. I know there's a conference that I actually spoke at, what things outside of just consulting do you do?
Yeah, absolutely. And I will say that probably makes the Florida SBDC among the top tier SBDC networks.
You guys just won an award. We got to talk about this.
Absolutely.
We'll let you wrap that up and then we got to talk about the award.
Absolutely.
Don't want to forget.
So with our training programs and I guess our ancillary services, so we do have normal workshops and webinars. I usually say they're low cost. They're $50 or less. And realistically, I think we charge something like $5 or they're free. But these are going to be based on a variety of business topics, how to start a business. We have banker panels, how to, is your bankable business? How to make your, thank you. Yeah. Is your business bankable? Sorry.
That's okay.
So we have different topics there. And then, we also have marketing ones. So we had one that, how to advertise on Instagram or how to advertise or how to use Canva for your small business. So those topics, those training topics are generally something like 1 to 2 hours. And it's just, if you have free time during lunch, you'll come in, you'll log on to the webinar and you'll just learn something. And if you need to expand on that, you'll fill out the RFC. So those are going to be our typical trainings when we think of webinars and workshops. But our region also has 2 signature events here locally. And the first one is the one that you spoke at was Women Excel. So this is a small business conference for women-owned businesses or future women entrepreneurs. And it's a 1-day conference. It's usually done in October. And we probably get something like 150-ish small business owners attending. And the real mission of this conference in particular is let's connect women-owned businesses so that they get to expand their network locally, because connecting with local business owners is important, and especially like-minded individuals. Let's give them professional development so that they could learn how to grow their business. And then we also connect them with the lending partners that are there. So it's a great way for them to just get some inspiration and networking for the day. And the second signature event we have is our Distinguished Entrepreneurs Award Ceremony. So this is just our annual awards dinner that we have. And it's really recognizing the small businesses in our community. And we also like to actually highlight our consultants as well during this one, because oftentimes the consultants win great awards and we have nowhere to share it. So we want to share it with the business owners that they're with. And we try to celebrate our small business owners because they do so many, we mentioned it's the lifeblood of the economy. Our small business owners do so much in the local community that even they, out of their humility, don't necessarily share all the good work that they do. So we created this event just specifically to celebrate the small businesses.
Yeah, I've been to that event and it's wonderful.
Yeah. Oh, really and one more thing I forgot. We're going to actually release this, I think, in January or February, but we're actually creating a CEO roundtable.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. And we're calling it CEO Exchange, and we're picking something like 12 to 15 small businesses of different industries. And I think the minimum required revenue is going to be $1 million, but it's basically some businesses will start their business and they'll grow. And then they get to this point where they kind of plateau out, right? So this program is specifically helping our businesses who they've already got their processes in line, they have their customers, their revenue, but they're ready to go, okay, I want to jump from that $1 million company to be a $6 million company in a couple of years. So we're excited to announce that hopefully in February.
That will be awesome. Yeah. That's wonderful.
And then, sorry, one more thing.
Yeah, I'd love to hear all the stuff that you have
and
coming
then
down.
The award that we won. So interestingly enough, the SBA, so when I think of an SBDC network, there's 63 different networks. There's an SBDC network in every state and US territory. The SBA splits up the country into 8 different regions. And our region, actually, we didn't win the national award, but we were one of the 8 finalists for SBDC Center of Excellence.
Mm-hmm.
It is a huge honor for an SBDC. I mean, to be able to say, yeah, we were top 10 or top 8, like definitely have bragging rights. Right. So we won that award, and it's really due to the strength of our people, because we have wonderful people on our team, but also, as you see, the different training programs that go beyond your typical SBDC of we just consult with small businesses, right? We want to be ingrained in the community.
Right, because that is important, because you're in front of the people that, I might not be an entrepreneur yet, but I've got something percolating and you want to be top of mind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we even have this with our outreach strategy of when we go to networking events. I tell my team, you may not necessarily get the client there, but you'll meet someone that will refer someone to you. And we want to be there, from cradle to grave, theoretically.
Right. Yeah. I always make it, I always have this conversation with people. I'm like, you need to be open in situations, whether you are dealing with something that is not perfect, there is a lesson to be learned in it. Just like the people that you meet, there's something to learn from every person that you meet, and connection, whatever that may be.
So for my personal life, I have a quote that says something, you never know how someone will influence your life. So it's really interesting, especially when I go to networking events. You just never know how they'll affect you. And I try to just that's like my mantra right before I go into the door. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a great way to prep yourself.
Yeah.
To walk into a room to network, for sure. So I would love it if you could share a couple of success stories with, obviously confidentiality, but just a couple of success stories with people that you all have worked with.
Yeah, absolutely. So, the first one that comes to mind, I got an email maybe a week and a half ago of someone saying, hey, I'm a Mexican-American immigrant. My parents immigrated to this country. And we were migrant workers, farm workers. And the parents started a produce business in 2020. And this person ended up, he's running the business now. And he emailed me complimenting the consultant he was working with. And he said, I had this relationship in 2020 and we went from $350,000. And this year we're going to be on track to be a $4 million company.
Oh my gosh. That is like crazy.
It's absolutely incredible. And this is someone that we're working on right now, doing a success story, because we want to publish that.
Absolutely.
This is a great client to deal with. And then of course, during the Hurricane Ian
and all the other ones,
yeah. We have a lot of clients that came into us. I mean, realistically, any small business that you think of, probably we touch them in some way or form. But it's interesting because we would help them get this disaster loan. And then 2 years later, they come back and they say, hey, we're past that. We need your help now, with this long-term recovery. And when a business owner says, we did not close because we were able to work with you guys, that really says a lot. It really touches you in a special way. So I'd say those two are probably really good success stories that I would think of. Yeah.
I mean, that's just 2 of them, right? There's so many out there that probably don't even say anything. We know how that is, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And, one more. So we actually now have another client that just started a mobile coffee company.
Oh, cool.
And interesting thing enough, they also just hired their first employee. So we help them from the very, very get-go with just the idea. And they came to us with the idea. They had a very specialized type of truck that they wanted to buy, and from like a foreign country, but it looked cool, right? It's like a classic type of vehicle. And it was interesting because the research that our consultant was able to help, not just with starting the business, but okay, how on earth do we even bring this over?
Right.
And things like this, I know it's just, some people will go, well, it's just one job or one business created. But when you start adding this stuff, you really see the impact that our team does on the community.
Right. Yeah. Because it's not just, they may start out with just one employee, but they could have 50. I mean, look at the produce company. I'm sure they have a lot of employees.
Exactly. And that's exactly why we're here, is we help you when you're small, but then we help you grow into that, big business.
Right.
Still under 500 employees, but
right. But you're affecting the life of that owner and that owner's family, but you're also affecting the lives of all of the people that they're able to hire.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And when we think of even, let's say, the local challenges for our region, right? The cost of living is expensive, infrastructure, a lot of people are moving in. This is why
our, hurricane season.
Hurricane season. So it really puts it into perspective where the small work that you do, like you mentioned, you help the business be successful and that business owner, right? They're holding their own, but they're also supporting small businesses. Mm-hmm. We had a client who was a dry cleaner, and they were telling us their story because they've been with us since they purchased the business. And they said during COVID, we didn't let anyone go. And that's the mentality of a small business owner, mm-hmm. right? And it really does trickle down and touch and affect the lives of our entire community. We're just one puzzle piece as the SBDC for small business, but it touches the employees, mm-hmm. and in an indirect way, it touches more people. Right. Yeah,
it does. Absolutely. So what would you tell someone who may be hesitant to reach out to the SBDC? They're scared because people go, oh my gosh, they're government. Like, there are some connotations that people, I'm sure, make up in their head, or if they've heard or whatever. How would you get them off the fence to just come and have a conversation?
You know what? That's a great question, because we do get that. So interestingly enough, the boring aspect, we actually don't share the consulting sessions with the SBA. We're not allowed to. So this is the SBA's own rule, just to mm-hmm. be, impartial. So everything, when I say confidential, it really is confidential, unless of course, like a judge forces us to do it. Then legally we just have to. But other than that, if someone is hesitant, because we're funded by taxpayer dollars, I always say, we're here to act in your best interest. I have nothing to sell to you. I just don't. I can't sell anything mm-hmm. to you. So you're literally paying taxes for me to give you my professional, honest opinion on your business. Other people are often more hesitant with, they're worried about, oh man, we got a lot of baggage. I will also say,
yes, that's so true.
We've seen everything. We have seen crazier people than whatever you think is crazy. We've probably seen crazy. And this is probably something for, discussion over drinks or anything, but I could tell you so many war stories. But yeah, we've literally seen everything, and that's okay. We have the experience. Our team comes from various different backgrounds. They have different specialties. So if someone is hesitant, I would really just say, don't be. Even if it's you just scheduling a meeting with a consultant and saying, can you just tell me about yourself and can we just talk?
Right.
That's completely fine too. Mm-hmm. Even if there's no goal in the meeting, you'll probably get to something where you're like, okay, I trust this person. I can actually share more information with them.
Yeah, because they think that they're going to be judged. Right. And you have a no judgment zone.
And we have a no judgment zone.
But that's, I am sure, like if it's, oh my gosh, somebody may think, oh my gosh, my company's a mess financially or process wise or whatever. They're scared to knock on your door because of their fear of being judged. But you have a no judgment zone and you work with professionals, and there's a non-disclosure
Exactly.
agreement.
So no judgment zone. We're here to help you. Of course, we always encourage people, reach out to us sooner rather than mm-hmm. later, because if you have any inkling or any feeling that there's some kind of problem in your business now, don't let that grow.
Yes.
Come to us and let's put it in its place. Let's mitigate any potential risks in the future, because that's what we're here for.
Right.
Yeah.
I have thoroughly enjoyed getting to know what the SBDC does, and having you share that with our listeners is invaluable information to them. If our listeners would like to get a hold of you or the SBDC, how do they do so?
Well, with my last name, it will probably...
Oh boy, we'll put it in the show notes.
There we go. The easiest will be sbdc.fgcu.edu, and we have an About Us, and all of our contact info's there.
Perfect.
That will be the easiest.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Dorian, for being here with us today.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
And thanks to my listeners.